Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. This is an archive of a situation that occurred from March 2023 onward. I wanted to add this to the Worst of QLR series because I believe it's a great example of how Rosie deals with criticism and it deserves more attention. Rosie posed with Raine's cane and it ended up in a Daily Mail article. Raine gave Rosie criticism on the fact that she was posing with a mobility aid for attention that she'd never really needed in real life. The backlash that Raine and their family received was unbelievable. If you've seen my previous Rosie video with Raine, you've seen most of this. If not, enjoy the video, I suppose. Next Worst of QLR, coming soon.
Oh, cool. Yeah. How do I do that? Let me find you. View request. Okay, I got you. Here we go.
Shalom.
Hello. So Rosie was here.
phone
Rosie is
is-
one of my
there we
wedding
go.
attendants and looked absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Got these really pretty crystal headbands for all my wedding attendants. And so they all had matching headbands. It was so cute. And matching dresses that I bought them. Had so much love. It was a very loving and happy day. How's that? Hi, here we go.
Okay, my phone was acting real funny. Hello. Okay, I do want to let you know, if I suddenly act very startled and disconnect from the live, it's because I got a call. But I haven't gotten one in almost an hour and a half. So I'll put it in the screenshot after saying that out loud.
So I do want to address something today, sadly, that I do have to address. Rosie Jean, who was in an episode with me, and I are no longer friends. I ended the friendship. She was very sore about it. Some things have transpired since then, and it's become a whole Instagram drama. I'm not here for the drama, really. It's not my jam. I'm a little too old and tame for that. I just want to garden and eat good food and have a happy life. I'm going to post a link in my community tab to my response to the drama. That's all I'm going to really say about it. Yeah, I responded on my Instagram story, but I do know that sometimes a response that isn't permanent has its way of like not everyone getting to see it. And I don't know how long she's going to continue to launch her Instagram attack of me and Ivy, but you guys are welcome to watch my response. Again, look at my community tab and I will post a link. Some people are just not really as cool as you once thought they were. I'll leave it at that. I'm a little bit nervous about coming on this platform tonight because, from my understanding, Rosie is continuing to say some things about me and her lies are getting more severe. And the things that she is vaguely seems to be possibly accusing me of now are really horrendous. What's actually happening here is that I called her out on some behavior that I found questionable about her shooting some pictures with my cane and using that to talk about how she's disabled and uses a cane, which I've never seen her do. And I called her out where she posted this. And since that point, she has repeatedly threatened me in her story and is sort of amassing a huge campaign of lies about me. Some of the most recent things that I've heard are very alarming and upsetting. I don't know what exactly is being said because I cannot see her Instagram. I'm just hearing people coming to me because they're hearing things about me that don't sound like me, and they're not. This person is launching a huge lying, false, fabricated story about me. I'm pretty upset about it because the things that are being said are really, they're not actually outright being said, which is the funny thing too, because she wouldn't actually outright say them because she knows they're not true. She's vaguely alluding to things to try to make me look bad, which is gross, and especially considering the things that she is alluding to. So I'm just gonna say that I have nothing to do with Rosie Jean anymore, and whatever lies she continues to tell about me, if this attack continues, there will be repercussions, because at this point she is outright lying about my character, and it's defamation. I have someone saying a lot of heinous things about me right now that are untrue publicly, and so that's pretty gross. But other than that, I'm trying to hang in there and just be the more mature, responsible person about this situation, because this is just gone way too far at this point. And the people will see the truth based on people's behavior. So it's really sad, man. Like, I thought I made a new friend, and the more I hung out with her, the more I realized that, like, maybe she wasn't the right person for me. There was a lot of drama and a lot of emotional episodes and just a lot of things that, you know, and I genuinely kept defending her because a lot of my other friends and stuff didn't really like her. And I genuinely kept being like, you know, well, she's a really kind person. She's really nice. And like, you just need to get to know her. And, you know, the thing is, I can't defend her anymore because she's not really a nice person and she's really saying horrible things. And the things that I've been told today that she is alluding to about me are honestly disgusting and untrue. And fabricating those type of lies about people is like really, really bad. That is reprehensible behavior, legally reprehensible behavior. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'm hoping what will happen is that she'll just calm down soon and quit saying lies. But I mean, honestly, like, I can't really control someone else's behavior. So Rosie's gonna Rosie, I guess. And you know, I think that anybody who's been watching her story over the last couple of days can see that she's been escalating and de-escalating herself in and out. And she's clearly having like a very emotional time right now. And it's all because I called her out over one thing. Like, everything else that I've said since that point has only been a response to the lies that she's been telling. So, you know, I'm trying to do my best to ignore it, but it's not really working because she keeps escalating and telling more, you know, fabricated things, and they're getting worse and worse and worse. I think she's like maybe not getting the full response she wants, and she's trying to like cancel me or something. That's kind of what it feels like. Like she's going for the jugular. So I don't know. That seems very dramatic to me just because I don't want to be friends anymore. I hope so. Good Lord, she's been at it for like 2 full days at this point. Unfortunately, I mean, obviously I didn't know she was unstable when I let her into my life. I have a tendency to really see the good in people. I want to be friends with everybody. And that's just how I've always been. And just not everybody's someone you should be friends with. And I guess I'm learning that the hard way here. So, yeah, some of the stuff that she is saying about me is just like wildly untrue accusations. And they're pretty vague because she knows it's BS. So it's, you know, whatever. I mean, it doesn't really make me question myself. You know, like I know who I am. I know that, you know, this is a bunch of nonsense. It concerns me that other people will believe any of it. But also at the same time, it's like, I know how very not true it is. So I don't know. I feel like in situations like this, it really only takes like a little bit of clarity to like look through and see who is the one behaving with abusive behavior. She has launched several threats towards me, both vague and not vague, since this started, and been saying things like, oh, well, I'm just having to think about what my next step is going to be. I don't want to ring any bells I can't unring. And these are all threats. And so she's just been sitting up there cooking up some heinous stories and coming up with like what lies she thinks are going to hurt me the most. And it's like, honestly, like, why is she putting that much energy into it? Like, I've never really experienced anything quite like this before. So it's new for me, and I'm just trying to, thank you. I tried to do my best. I mean, that response was painful to even say because it was just like, oh my gosh, like what is even happening right now? She did hurt her knee on my couch. She absolutely did hurt her knee on my couch. It wasn't like she hurt it on the couch. Like she literally got up off the couch, and the act of standing up off my couch, she hurt her knee because my couch is low to the ground because I am short. So that's true. That part is true. She did hurt her knee on my couch. I mean, like, I have no reason to lie. She's telling crazy lies, but I have no reason for any of that because it's just like, it's whatever. Like, we were friends for a while. She also went and took screenshots of my Facebook, me showing that I was her friend and that I said that she was a good friend. Yes, all people's opinions can change. Clearly, since you are dragging me across the internet and lying about me, my opinion of you has changed. It is weird that she screen grabbed my private Facebook. She did apparently blot my name out because I was like, my first thought was like, oh God, is she doxing me right now? But, yeah, sorry. I was actually looking at, people have been sending me screenshots and things of like what is being said about me and stuff. So it's funny. Apparently she's saying that she misses Arthur, which I don't doubt. Arthur's adorable. He's wonderful. But she also is literally dragging his parent across the internet in mud right now that doesn't even belong to them. So like, what does she expect? Like, does she think that she's going to continue to have a relationship with my child while she's abusing me? Not going to happen. I don't know. It's all wild what's happening, honestly. It's messy. And I really wish that it would stop. But I'm sure it will eventually. She's going to tire herself out. Yesterday I was listening. Someone had sent me some stuff that she was saying, and she's in her 30s. But, okay. This is a lot. I mean, she's giving out a lot of personal information about me, but she's in her 30s, yes. She does not act like she's in her 30s. She's told me, you know, several times that part of that is because she wasn't socialized the same because she, you know, like her family's Mormon and stuff. I don't know, like, she's old enough to know better. The thing is, I don't, you know, I understand that she has trauma, she has backstory, we all do. Mistreating people, really throwing people in the mud and in the dirt just because they called you out on one bad behavior, which she could have responded to. She could have like been like, hey, I don't agree with this, like whatever, like this is, but she literally has been plotting against me ever since. She immediately issued a threat towards me. So, you know, it is, I really would love to talk about anything else, honestly. It's just that it keeps coming up, so, you know. Oh yeah, she was in the, we did an episode together. I want to say it was episode 6. Chicken. We did chicken and she made like butter noodles. And, we did an episode together, a Planet with a Palette. And then she was also in the wedding episode. That was a whole interesting thing too, because at one point, I tried to uninvite her to my wedding because of the type of behavior that I was seeing from her. And she got really, and I really wasn't having that many people physically at my wedding. Everybody was joining via Zoom. She got very disappointed, very upset. So I invited her back to the wedding. Yeah, I don't know. The whole friendship just was like, it's a lot of drama, honestly. Like, and the funny thing is, like, everyone who's like been around Rosie, all of my camp who's been around Rosie, other than Arthur. Arthur does love Rosie, but Arthur loves everybody. But he's a loving child. But pretty much, well, yeah, like, can you imagine if I was dealing with all of this on my wedding day because she was upset or had her feelings hurt? That would have, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like she's coming off that way as being unhinged on her own. And a lot of what she's been talking about, and I don't want to go too deep because I'm not trying to hurt her, but she's coming for me. And a lot of what she's talking about, saying that I gaslit her about her mental health, I literally didn't. I just asked her to get some help because she was having regular episodes in front of me. I don't know what kind of episodes to call them. I'm not a psychiatrist. That is not my thing. I genuinely was asking her to get help because I genuinely believe she needs it. And me deciding not to be friends anymore, I felt bad because I knew it was going to hurt her feelings. And that was never my intention to hurt her feelings. Up until this moment, I actually thought that she was a perfectly nice and reasonable person. I just thought that she had a lot of issues and that I wasn't equipped to handle them. And that was kind of she does live very close to me, but that was towards the beginning of our friendship. And we were spending a lot of time together, getting to know each other. It was pretty clear early on that she had a lot of problems, but you know what? I'm not even trying to be like, hey, this person's mentally ill. I also have mental illness. Like, I'm in treatment. I'm in therapy. I'm on meds. I do the things that I need to do to, 6 months. We were friends for 6 months. Yeah. And I've never had a friendship end this dramatically. And that's saying a lot because, I mean, I've had a lot of friends over the years and, like, this is really new, new levels. So she's been mentioning me in her stream constantly for 48 hours. A lot of what I'm saying is only a response to the things that she's been saying about me. Yeah, I mean, I'm not faulting anyone for having mental illness, but I also don't have to engage with people whose behavior is triggering. Rosie Jean, aka @FatRosePhoenix, has been continuing her attack of me, and now she is literally bringing my children into the mix. This has gotten really out of hand. She's saying some things that aren't true. She's saying that she had a private conversation with one of my sons where he said he was uncomfortable editing my YouTube videos. I would like to make it clear that my son is no longer editing my YouTube videos. He started editing my YouTube videos to show me how to properly edit a YouTube video. And also he was being paid at that time because he wasn't working. As far as him moderating my comments, that was a choice that he made to do. And he has never expressed to me that he's uncomfortable doing so. She is honestly just attacking every aspect of me, my personality, who I am. She's lying left and right about me. Honestly, this is just more adding to the mix. At this point, she has doxed me when she posted photos of my Facebook, my private Facebook, where my name wasn't completely crossed out. And now she's bringing my children into the argument and trying to make it look like I'm an unfit parent, which is beyond hurtful and really horrible to try to weaponize my own children against me. I don't even know how to respond at this point because I'm just completely under attack. I feel like she's showing herself to be unstable, as a lot of people have reached out to me explaining to me that her feed actually scared them because of the way that she was violently acting towards me. She's been plotting against me this whole time. She's outright said, I don't know what my next step is going to be. And her next step is to come up with whatever next lie she thinks is going to hurt me the most. Involving my children, that is low. I spoke to my son. He said he never had that conversation with her. If my son was uncomfortable helping me with my YouTube channel, he would let me know. He was doing it, but he was getting paid actually to help me with my YouTube channel. And the reason that I used him as a resource is because he's very good at YouTube and he wanted to help me make my channel successful. And he has, and he's been very helpful. He gets paid when he does help me with things on Planet with a Palette because his expertise on editing and things like that are valuable and he deserves to be paid. I actually am a really good parent, and I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but if he was uncomfortable with that, I'm sure he would let me know. He certainly never said that to her. I think that her motive is to try to cancel me, honestly, at this point. I think she's very angry because I called her out on some behavior that I found questionable, and I think that she just sort of spiraled out of control from that point. It seems to me like she's having some kind of a emotional episode, as this has been going on for 3 days. She doesn't like being held accountable. But furthermore, we could have been past this by now. Like, I really am not trying to start a war. Everything that I've said at this point has only been responding to the lies that she has been saying about me. She has done this to a lot of people. Well, that's pretty horrible. I wasn't aware of that, and I certainly wish I had been. You know, when I decided to no longer be friends with Rosie a couple weeks ago, I just felt like she's a bit immature and emotionally needy, and I just felt like it wasn't in my best interest to stay friends, which is why I really did try to end the friendship amicably. Thank you. That's my son speaking out and telling you guys that that's not true. I really didn't want him to be involved in any of this. She misgendered you on her stories? Ugh. She also misgendered me on her stories. The thing is that she's just spiraling, and she's really grasping at straws. Now she's not only attacking me, but she's bringing my kids into it, which is honestly just horrific and upsetting. And to protect a minor, she sure can't keep my name out of her mouth. Does she say your name too? Yeah, this is really out of control. I have actually thought about filing a police report. Thank you for saying that. Honestly, he shouldn't be involved in this at all. And I'm really sorry that I allowed someone this unsafe into our lives. I genuinely thought she was a good person. So I guess, you know, a lot of times I'm getting upset. Sometimes I'm way too trusting of people, and I want to be friends with everybody. And not everybody is worth being a friend. And the fact that this person is now bringing my kids into this is honestly like the lowest that she could possibly go. I have been trying to disengage, but it's very hard because people are messaging me on Facebook because they found me because she literally put up my information. I don't want to engage, but I also feel the need to defend myself, especially when my parenting is being called into question and she's saying that I'm doing inappropriate things with my YouTube channel about my son. But he helped me with the first few episodes, and it was actually really nice for me because I got to spend some quality time with my son and also learn a lot because he knows a lot about YouTube. He's a very valuable resource and a good kid. And I really am just so sorry to him that that she's involved him in this like this. And she is upsetting me. I mean, I wasn't at first, but she just keeps taking it a step farther all the time. And it's now she's involving my children. So that's really too far. She's already doxed me. People know my private name now because she's posted it with a line through it that you can literally see. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's been 3 days of me continuing to get messages from people of support, but in every message I find out that something new and horrible has happened, that she said something new and horrible. And, you know, she's been making very vague statements that are lies, that alluding to me doing inappropriate things, and just none of it's true. The thing about my son, it's not true. Yeah, doxing is illegal, and the person who messaged me literally told me that I should reach out to my local law enforcement about it. I really never wanted this level of intensity of she said at one point, like, oh, you threw the first punch, but I will throw the last. And I don't know what she even means by that, because when I think she's punched as hard as she can, like doxing me, then she comes back and starts trying to call my parenting into question and bringing my son into the mix. I really don't think that she's going to stop. This is not comical anymore. This is really disturbing and upsetting, and it is harassment. I have been keeping records of everything. You know, listen, I'm far from perfect, you guys. I have PTSD, and I've struggled to be a good parent at times because of the way that I was raised, but I've worked really hard on myself, and I love my children deeply. Like, both of my boys are honestly just like so cool, so funny, so smart. My oldest is so talented. His play was incredible. My youngest is hilarious and loving and smart. I love my kids a lot, and I really hate that this is happening right now because it feels really unfair. Like, my son shouldn't have to be here in my life, like, vouching for me. I did not ask him to do that, by the way. He just signed in. He's older. He's a teenager, so he's aware of what's going on. And that's the thing that sucks, is that when she's dragging me through this, he's aware. He knows what's happening, and she's dragging him through this too, and it's just unnecessary. Like, I just wish that she would stop. I offered him the job to work on Planet with a Palette. He chose to take it. It was 100% consensual, and he was paid. So she's trying to make things seem a way that they absolutely are not. But as I've said many times throughout this whole exhausting, abusive ordeal, usually the truth comes out. Yeah, you would think that she would have spoken to me about his supposed uncomfortable. She's just lying. She's grasping at straws. She's lying. She's absolutely lying right now. Also, frankly, my son never would have had a private conversation with her because he hasn't cared for her from the beginning, because he felt that she was rude and bossy with me, and also she's said things to him that were inappropriate and not okay that I've had to speak with her about. I don't want to go too much into all the private details of our friendship because honestly, as many stones as she's throwing, I have like real stories to back up my stuff, but it's just mean-spirited and I just don't see the point. I've just been trying to respond to everything that she's saying, like involving my children. Not okay. And yeah, if y'all are on her Instagram and you see this abusive behavior, I would appreciate if you did report her because this is harassment and it's gone too far. I am going to see about contacting local authorities over being doxxed, but also because at this point, I feel she's not only harassing me, but harassing my son as well and telling lies about him on the internet as well. So that's really not appropriate. Yeah, that's the thing. I did address that in the live I said last night because she was saying how much she misses Arthur. But meanwhile, she's literally dragging me through the mud with lies. So it's like you cannot abuse someone's parent and then expect to have access to them. Sorry for this live. I just wanted to explain my side. Thank you, son, for coming on and, telling the truth, but you really shouldn't have had to, and I'm sorry about that. Sorry that I let this unsafe person into our home and into our life. Hopefully this can end soon because it's really starting to affect my mental health a little bit. It's making me really sad because this is someone that at one point I actually really trusted. So I'm just back on here to add a record to the record that Rosie has taken her newest tactic of bringing up my children to her non-safe for work Twitter, which is very inappropriate for someone who has claimed that they are concerned about the safety of the kids or something like that. And she's made a very vague statement on there that says minors can't consent, which makes it sound far worse than even the claim that she's making, which is also untrue. And she's doing a lot of this for attention. And I think that the positive attention that she's getting from this, from people acting, like her victimization of herself is correct, is pushing her forward. Please stop talking about my kids. It's not appropriate. And there are a lot of things that minors can consent to, like having a job, which is why my son has a job. Just for the record, all the work that my son has done on my YouTube channel, he's been paid for and he's chosen to do. She's also mentioning my children on her not safe for work Twitter feed. This has gone too far now. You've given out my personal name and information. You have made me a target so that people can find me on Facebook. You are now involving my children. Honestly, her behavior is scaring me, and I'm to the point where people are telling me that I need to seek a protection order. And this has been going on for 3 days nonstop. And I do not want to involve the authorities. I'm going to if this continues. So I'm asking you, Rosie, to please stop now. There is nothing else to say. You issued the threat at the beginning of this, Rosie, that, I made the first punch and now you're going to make the last punch. I guess your last punch was to hit by bringing my children into this. And I want you to stop. And if you cannot stop harassing me, then I will contact the authorities. That's not me threatening you. That is me threatening to protect myself by whatever means necessary at this point. I am not attacking you. I'm not even saying anything bad about you other than I want you to stop this behavior because it's abusive and it is not appropriate. So you need to stop. If you don't, I will contact the authorities because you have broken the law at this point by giving my personal information out on a public platform against my will. You continue issuing threats, both vague and not vague towards me, and I want it to end. You know that what you're doing is not the kind of person that you want to be, Rosie, at least that I've heard you say. I really hope that you will stop now. All you're doing is causing harm. There is nothing good that can come of this, and I just need you to end it. So stop. Please, Rosie, stop. Stop attacking me. Stop attacking my friends. Stop attacking my family. I need you to stop. Hi everybody. So I just wanted to give a quick update about what's going on. In the last 24 hours, Rosie Jean has taken to 2 different 18 plus platforms. One being a community that we're both part of, a forum that we're both part of, the other being her not safe for work Twitter. And on both of those platforms, she has mentioned my children. She also made a post on the 18 plus platform where she said something about me accusing her of doxing when she had shared a censored picture. So for everyone who doesn't know what happened, she took a screenshot from my Facebook, I guess to prove we were once friends. I don't know. But when she took that screenshot from my private Facebook, she did put a line through my name. However, the line was opaque. People began to find me on Facebook. So that is doxing. What I do think happened is that she is so angry and she's unraveling and attacking me so hard that she wasn't paying attention to what she was doing. And She said at one point in this, when she was issuing out a lot of threats, that, well, I've got to figure out what my next step is going to be. And she keeps saying things like that, you know. And then she was like, you know, I don't want to ring any bells that I can't unring. But at this point she has, because she's doxed me. Whether it was intentional or not, she still did. She's misgendered me. She's misgendered my son. She's brought my kids into this. And she's posted about my children on 2 18-plus platforms. It really does say what kind of person she is. A couple weeks ago, when I broke off our friendship, I knew that being around her was affecting my mental health in a negative way, but I still thought she was a good person. I told her as much when I broke off the friendship. I did call her out about one thing on Twitter that I thought was questionable. I don't even care about that anymore. It's really gone so far beyond that at this point. I only engaged her on one Twitter post. She is the one who has brought this to multiple platforms. She has brought this to multiple platforms. I never responded on Instagram until she brought it to Instagram. And in my response, I've genuinely just been asking her to stop harassing me, stop bringing my children into this. It's inappropriate. Stop harassing me. I really haven't attacked her, I don't feel. Mostly what I'm talking about is the behavior that she's distributing in her attack of me. Even she's been telling a lot of lies and kind of weaving a web of lies. And when, even in her post on this forum that we're both in, the post said, and I did take screenshots, it's been removed now, by the group who runs the forum, by the admin, because it was harassment. It was breaking their policies of harassment. She is doing it to get a reaction, and I understand what you're saying and don't give her one, but I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed on multiple platforms on the internet. And I have PTSD. I don't talk about the reasons why I have PTSD a lot, but basically, I had a very severely abusive childhood, and I don't really care to get deep into that because it's my private stuff, but this has really triggered me. One of my 2 major triggers with my PTSD is feeling unsafe, and this has really triggered me into feeling unsafe. Probably because it's happening from someone that I once trusted. It's hard for me not to respond because I don't feel that the behavior that's happening is appropriate or acceptable. So the thing is that the lies, they build up. She's contradicting herself in pretty much every statement. My oldest son has made some posts on his Instagram basically just saying that he can't believe that he's being brought into, like, you know, internet drama by an adult. And it makes me feel horrible because I allowed this unsafe person into our lives because I thought that I was making a new friend, and it is unfair to me and my family. And that's the thing, is that she was just attacking me, but now she's attacking my family. Well, people came to me, people who were actually Rosie's followers came to me and said that her erratic behavior and the way that she was talking felt threatening and unhinged, and that they were concerned about my safety. These are the types of messages I've been getting from people that I don't even know. It's just been weird having people I don't even know, people who didn't even follow me on social media, find me on my Facebook, of all places, because she was so careless with my information. So people have been reporting her Instagram story. I don't care about anything else at this point. I just want her taking these stories down. She's attacking me. She keeps stating, she's trying to turn the tables and say that I'm attacking her, and I'm twisting the truth, and that my lies are coming forward and all this stuff. But it's interesting that she's saying all of these things, because I've also had several people come to me and to my best friend and say, hey, this is something that she does all the time, and that she's made multiple accusations towards multiple people over the years, and that she seemed like a very kind person. And at first she was, but over time I just started to realize that she had some emotional problems, which so do I, but hers were sort of basically rubbing me in a wrong way, and it just was like something that I wasn't capable of dealing with, which is why I did unfriend her. And I'm not going to state anything about that, about her using autism or anything like that. I don't want to say anything about her using, like, you know, someone said here that she's using autism as a crutch. I mean, I understand better than most, honestly. Where was I? I don't even know. This is so exhausting. I just really wish that she would stop. That's all I want. All I want out of this is for these abusive posts to be taken down. That's it. We try to have a nice, supportive, and peaceful home. It's important. You know, I didn't have that as a kid, so I really want to ensure that my kids can have that. And that's one of the reasons why this whole situation is so triggering, is because that's the thing. My kids don't deserve to be brought into any of this. So that's the main reason why I want all of her stuff removed that she's been saying because it's a lot of lies too. Like, just everything's been rewritten in our friendship. She's tried to insinuate all kinds of things that aren't true. And then it's funny because she says that my lies are coming forward, and it's like, what lies? All I'm literally doing is reacting to what you're saying. Like, I'm not attacking her. She's doing a good enough job on her own showing who she is. Like, I don't even need to do that. But yeah, even in her statement, which got removed from the forum that we're both on, because it is an 18+ forum, and she once again brought up my children and was really inappropriate. So I'm very glad that they removed that. She so dramatically went in right after that and was like, oh, I see this forum as snatching posts or something to that nature. And it was just like, yeah, because you violated the terms. Like, you straight up violated the terms of harassment and trolling, and I went and read the terms before I reported her comment. And yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to update that. Yeah, she's now taken to talking about my kids openly on her not safe for work Twitter. And of course, like, she's literally like, hey, look at me, I'm having a meltdown, I'm being victimized. Like, she wants attention. And so of course someone's emoji was popcorn, and then the second person, their emoji or their thing that they wrote was, well, it's here now. You're trying to pretend that I'm the one spreading this around the internet, but it's actually you. You're trying to pretend that I'm the one that's attacking you, but all of that I keep saying is stop attacking me. It has been 4 days, yeah. And that was the funny thing too, is she was like, I haven't consumed any of the media that Raine has said about me in the last 72 hours. Well, the only thing that I've continually said in the last 72 hours is that I'm under attack and I want it to stop. That is it. And that's also not true. She has somehow consumed what I'm saying because she had the information that I was calling her out for doxing me. I know that I should just stop responding. Like, a lot of people have told me that, and it's like, but I feel like every time I do, I like take some time and walk away, and then I come back and there's like 5 more things, you know, like, yeah, that's the thing, is I do feel like I'm in the right to respond, because I don't want to have I don't want to allow this type of behavior to go unchecked. It's bad enough that it's happening. But I also think that people need to be aware of what is being said and how things are being handled across multiple platforms, because I think that it genuinely shows like that I am under attack, and that someone is genuinely harassing me at this point. And I want to respond to that because I don't think it's appropriate. So from my understanding, from what a lot of people have said, is that this is a pretty normal behavior for her. A lot of people have come out of the woodworks and been like, listen, I've been on the end of one of these attacks from Rosie before, and like, it's a pretty frequent thing with her. So it's like, you know, honestly, like, if this is the type of harassing behavior that she continues to exhibit, then it's only a matter of time before she's going to end up having her platform taken away. And like, you really have to be careful when you're like, you know, calling out people, divulging people's personal information. Like, both my kids are pretty awesome, not gonna lie. Like, I really lucked out in the parent department. Like, they're just fantastic people. I love these people. I mean, I have such good experiences with most of the people that I've met over the years in the industry that I've been in, but like, it's just, sometimes you think that you've made friends and it turns out that you've made frenemies. Yeah, I don't know. Not everybody's cool, I guess.
It's been a weird couple months and an intense couple weeks. Having your mental health and your disabilities exploited against you is a really intense experience. And having been victimized so much by exploitation in my life, I had a sense of rage that was so much deeper than a meaningless friendship that needed to never happen to begin with. But you know, it was the catalyst to an amount of self-growth that I didn't believe enough in myself to have. So in a way, I guess thanks for that. But at the end of the day, my energy's not shifted towards that ever. I have finally been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, second diagnosis of PTSD, and undiagnosed dissociative disorder, because that requires further follow-up, as well as the autism. However, there has been psychiatric confirmation that my self-assessment is pretty valid. I am also, at least for the past 1 to 2 months, an untreated diabetic, which is why I needed the cane to help with my dizziness and my brain fog. Because carrying my weight on my body with the amount of symptoms and untreated mental health issues that I had was beyond the point of exhausting and depressing. I had a lot of self-deluded ideology. I wasn't delusional. In fact, my biggest fear was confronted. I have finally been diagnosed. I finally admitted that I had audio and visual hallucinations. With extensive psychiatric feedback, it was determined that they are non-psychotic, and the hallucinations are misplaced sensory audio processing. Before I was publicly attacked online about some really bizarre things, it was either 2 or 12 hours before it happened. I have an undiagnosed sleeping disorder that's going to require a sleep study follow-up that I'm working towards with my PCP. I was saying, in the next couple months, I have a signed contract for a paid interview. And it was before this happened, so I want to make that so clear. I'll let you know when it happens. We'll see what it's about. This is a lot of topics. I've lived a very fascinating life. I'm a fascinating person. I'm energetic. I'm charismatic. I'm kind. I'm funny. And I'm a lot more than my body. And you're about to see that part of me now, from now on. But honestly, if you're here for the titties, there's going to stay a link in the bio. There will be fun things there. It's going to be a really different vibe. So if you're not into a lot of the things that I've been doing on my page, but you're into me in a sense where you're comfortable with nudity, hit the link in the bio. Or not, because I'm still going to be here, and I'm going to be me. And I have so much to show you, because I'm not dumbing myself down anymore. I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to lose. Because I've always come from a place of authenticity. My name is Rosie, and I'm an addict who's 14 days sober from THC vape carts. You know, if I'm presenting as a person, and I may have said it in extreme duress and anger, but I am non-binary. And I had someone be outwardly supportive when I told them, and I could register their internal annoyance, because what that person, that short friendship, what they did to me on Twitter made me relive that experience. Is that their fault? Not necessarily. But they knew better. So, I told my mom I was non-binary on the phone, away from the internet. And I came up to my mom and I explained to her that that was why I felt so disheartened, that she made no effort to gender my friends correctly if they were non-binary. The only support they have is from bitter, horny dudes! The only support they have is from the bitter, horny dudes! Yeah! Call me unstable all you want, bitch! I'ma keep kicking as I reverse my diabetes! Keep stuffing on camera then! Fuck y'all! Oh, I got another screenshot to post! And I was processing a lot of anger. I was going through some stuff when I first got out of the hospital related to someone who was really incredibly abusive towards me and has made a lot of salacious lies and claims, including, saying I was lying about being disabled because an article was written about me through the Daily Mail, representing me to be far more, I guess, vapid than I actually am, and that I was more disabled than I am. But, I was really struggling with my mobility, and I was actually hiding a lot of it, and I was forcing myself and overworking myself based on, how I was treated as a child and trauma related to my childhood. And I was struggling with some internalized ableism, and I was struggling to kind of figure out what was going on with me. I did not know so much of it was contributed to the undiagnosed diabetes that I had developed. I believe a part of these friendships that I thought were people that wanted to support me, who are in actuality, with proof, like talking bad about me and pulling crap behind the scenes and using me. I was blocked because I was sent a text to cut off the friendship while I was literally throwing up in a trash can, and I was just not in the headspace to deal with the fake text that I was sent. There were so many lies and misrepresentations that happened. I don't even know how to get into it without resurging a really horrifically, disgustingly nasty human being into my life that I don't want. Sometimes I'm singing and, look at me. I'm vibing, right? But sometimes I'm cussing under my fucking breath, just like wanting this to be over. Prior to me being attacked online, there was one person that actually knew the depth of my physical issues that I had never really talked about online out of shame. And that was the person that attacked me online, publicly, maliciously, unprovoked. It didn't matter because this person had, 16 years in this industry. I mean, they're irrelevant now and they're slowly fading out, and they're just such a fake and vapid person. They think that moving onto a mainstream platform for the money is going to help, replace those careers, but they're still using food to do it. So.
Hi, y'all. So I can't believe that I'm here having to address this again months later, but as soon as I started making more updates again on my Planet with a Palette YouTube, the person who was attacking me, QUIRKYLOVEROSEE, please don't respond to her on my behalf because it just will make things worse, but she's come back and she has created an entire YouTube video full of lies about me, saying a bunch of stuff that's not true, telling her side of the story, which is honestly just a bunch of garbage lies. It's so funny because, yeah, she's back. This is part of the reason why I went into a depression and sort of had to tap out of my YouTube for a while. So if I'm being honest, Rosie was pretty obsessed with me when we were friends, like wanted to be with me all the time, wanted to be hanging out in my house, wasn't comfortable with me going and hanging out with other friends without her. It was kind of an ordeal, and copying my looks and things like that. It was weird. And it's weird now, because now that we're no longer friends, she seems to be obsessed with making my life more difficult. She's trying to out all these things about me, but really all she's doing is just telling a bunch of lies per usual. So, she's bringing up my kids again into it. She's just on one. She made a whole YouTube video talking about how horribly abused she was by me. She said I tried to armchair diagnose her with bipolar disorder, which is not what happened. What happened is she came to my house in what felt like a manic state. She was freaking out and screaming in my driveway, throwing things around, yelling, getting all the neighbors' attention. I was scared at one point that she might be driving erratically, because she peeled into my driveway around my kid. I did ask him to leave the vicinity because he was kind of playing around the car. I just want my peace. Yeah, she was acting wild around my kid. She was crying. She was screaming. She was honking the horn. She was throwing things around her car. She accidentally threw her phone out the window. She was in a bad mood and having a bad day, which I get. But her behavior was so erratic that when she went home, I told her I felt like maybe she was in a manic state. And she had told me that she had been previously diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but didn't believe it. So I was attempting to say to her that, she needed to seek therapy, and that she needed to see a psychiatrist, and that just because what she was saying to me is that she thinks she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and her family blamed everything on that, but that she didn't have bipolar disorder. She was only autistic and they didn't know the difference. And I told her that they're not mutually exclusive and that she should see a doctor. I told her that I could not diagnose her. I literally said those words. Clearly, I cannot diagnose you, but I think you need to see a doctor because something is wrong. Your behavior scared me. She's now calling me a narcissist, which is funny because she's blaming me for armchair diagnosing her, but narcissism is actually a disorder, and so she's armchair diagnosing me. The only reason that she is calling me a narcissist is because she knows that I suffered from narcissistic abuse in the past, and that it's something that really bothers me. And I think that she is calling me a narcissist in order to trigger me. She knows way too much about me personally, and that is a problem because she will use anything that she knows to create some sort of lie version of it that can do the most harm. She's a very harmful person. She is a very abusive person. And I have no problem saying that because she is still abusing me on YouTube. In fact, all of my responses about her and all of the things that I have said about her have only come up and come out because I am defending myself against her abuse. So she is still telling lies about me on YouTube. Now she's made a whole video. I think she baited me into this, if you want to know the truth, because I came back with my Planet with a Palette, and I'm trying to do a weekly update again. Someone came onto my Planet with a Palette on the part where I said, I'm taking questions for a Q&A, and said, do you know QUIRKYLOVEROSEE? I felt like it might have been baiting me, and I shouldn't have responded. I should have just left that question hanging there so I wouldn't restart this drama that's been going on for literal months of my life. Yeah, and what I said was, we are no longer friends. She's an abusive person, or something like that, and I don't want to talk about her. Her response to this thing where she clearly had someone come bait me into talking about her was to launch an entire YouTube video. She's saying just the most absurd stuff, about the lies that I'm telling for my job, that I've been lying about my weight since I was 300 pounds. It's ridiculous. The stuff she's saying is so outlandish and ridiculous that I can't even. She's screenshotting and putting up things where I've talked about personally, fake crying during a scene. Well, I do fetish work, you guys. I am an actor. Not everything I do on camera is real. When I pretend to eat little tiny people, that's not real. I'm not actually a giant. So she's just trying to, use this stuff to make me look bad. The other thing I find really weird is this week on my episode of Planet with a Palette, I'm wearing a hat that has a rim that's rainbow. And in this video, she's literally wearing a hat that has a rim that's rainbow. So she's weirdly copying my look while she makes an entire YouTube video about how I'm a horrible narcissist and a liar. And screenshotting private, messages that we put back and forth, out of context completely. It's just so dramatic. And I'm just so over it, honestly. I just want to live my life and make my YouTube videos and cook my food and, be chill. So it was like that when we were friends, too. She wanted to do everything I was doing and go to all the places I was going and do, And the funny thing is she talks about revoking her consent from the content that we created together for our adult work. But the thing about it is she begged me to create that content with me. She knew I had to work that day and I didn't want to hang out because I had work to do. She was like, please, let me come over. I'll work with you. I'll do this. I'll do that. And we shot one video of us eating a meal.
DM me later, by the way.
Yes, I will.
DM me when you're done eating.
But I have Chinese food. Try to hopefully get these customs filmed today because I am behind.
But either today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll message you when I'm done eating. And she literally revoked consent later, as if and now talks about how I pressured her into working and I was trying to make money off of her. And like, she set our friendship up so that she could make money. She set our friendship up. She literally told me and Ivy when she became friends with us that she was wanting to make money doing adult content. So she literally used both of us and both of our names to get herself out there and become popular, and then revoked consent for the content we had created together. And specifically, Ivy had paid her for. It was a very expensive shoot that Ivy had spent a lot of money on, props and costumes and all this kind of stuff, and paid her talent, as she always does. And so she was paid. She was paid for content, and then revoked consent when she was angry, which is that's not how it works. But okay, cool, do you. At this point, the content's down. I don't even understand what the drama is. It was a whole ordeal. Like, the whole situation was just bad all the way around. But the fact that we're here, the fact that she baited me, or someone she knows baited me into saying something about her on YouTube by saying, hey, do you know this person? It felt funky, and I should have just moved on. But you know what? I feel like I have a right to say my piece. If people are going to ask me if I know her, I'm going to say we're not friends. She's abusive, because she is. Because look at her whole entire response to that one comment, which she clearly set up, because I responded to it yesterday, y'all. And already she's got a whole video response where she's copying my hat too. It's just like, oh wow, this is just too good. I really wish she would stop. I really wish how long has it even been? Like, I haven't even talked to her at this point. We haven't been friends since like maybe a month after my wedding. So it's been 4 months. 4 months. Yes, she does need me for content, because she keeps bringing me up. She likes the drama. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think the majority of the followers she has like enjoy watching the shit show, to be frank, because it's always something with her. She's always having some dramatic breakdown. 4 months. Yes, 4 months. It has been 4 months. We have no longer been friends. That's almost half a year, and she is creating an entire YouTube video about me. I have been doing adult work for 19 years, which is something that a lot of people ask me about on my YouTube channel. I'm really good at compartmentalizing that part of my life, because I have to, because I have children. And I mean, I definitely ran into some drama with some people over the years. Like, I've worked with so many people, it would be impossible not to, because some people are not cool people, but I've never encountered anything like this in 19 years. Like, this is a whole new level ball game of drama. For the most part, most of my working relationships with people have been incredibly good. Most people would be happy to work with me again. I would be happy to work with them again. Even some of the people who I've had personal fallouts with, we've actually worked together again in the future, because we don't want to be friends again, I can compartmentalize. It's work. You know what? Yes, I talked about how this bothered me, how I got depressed, and how I was coming back, Adriana. And yes, she is definitely trying to keep me from having from coming back to YouTube. She's trying to cause trouble, and she is spending so much of her time, just like she did when we were friends, being completely obsessed with me and what I'm doing. And she is trying to keep me from coming back by creating more drama. Yeah, she's definitely trying to like undermine my progress of feeling better, undermine my ability to come back to YouTube. So I am not going to let it, but I did want to address it, because I cannot believe that it's been months since this, and we are back. And we are back here. Here we are. So what's the plan with her? My plan is I'm addressing it here. I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to just leave it alone. I'm going to hope that she goes away on her own, but she's not going to. What does Roman say about this? Well, they are pretty upset about the way that I've been treated by this person. Yeah, just move on with your life and focus on yourself. Ivy's the one who sent me this video this morning. It was like, well, she's back at it. And I'm like, and I skimmed the video. I couldn't even watch the whole video. No one has time or energy for that. But I knew she was definitely talking about me. The entire focus of the video is me being a horrible narcissist and an abusive person. It's not true, guys. Like, she does need to focus on her own self and move on. But I don't know that that's ever going to happen. I think as long as I am in the public eye and making content. And by the way, we were only friends for 6 months. Like, only friends for 6 months. And this is the fallout. People like her love being the victim, attention seeking. I agree with all of this. I want to keep making YouTube videos. I'm not going to let this like bring me down or affect me too much, but it is upsetting to know that like in response to me trying to come back, she has had someone or herself come and try to start drama on my page. I really didn't start anything. All I said was that she's an abusive person, which is real, because her response to that one comment is to make an entire video about me. She's abusive. She's still at it, still telling lies about me, still telling her side of the story, which is actually garbage. So I just wanted to let y'all know that that's happening. Videos are being made about me. Screenshots are being brought up out of context. What's crazy, I saw she was talking about another YouTuber. Like, come on, stop using people for views. She will do anything for attention. So several years ago, I didn't know that much about this, except that several years ago, she apparently had some internet bullies who supposedly, but she's also calling me a bully. So who knows? She's calling me a bully while she makes an entire YouTube video bullying me. So the thing is, I want to retire from my other job. I really do. Like 18 years is a long time. It's easy to get burned out at that job. And I am burnout. It's not that I don't like my job. It's not that I don't appreciate that I've been able to work my own schedule. I appreciate and value the things that the working in the adult industry has done for me. That being said, I'm ready to move on. That's what I want. I want to retire and make YouTube my full-time gig. And I know you did ask me that in my questions for my Q&A. I am going to address that. And I am going to finally address what I do for a living in my Q&A as well, which will probably go up in a couple of weeks. But I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired. I'm getting old. Like most people would have aged out of this industry by now because it really is a young person's industry. But because I have such a special niche, because I'm very, very fat, I'm not going to age out. Candy and I, it's something we talked about for a long time, but I didn't just want to do mukbangs because I've always wanted to share my cooking. And Candy was like, there are definitely some successful cooking and mukbang shows. You should do it. You should do it. And I was like, I already have an idea for the show. So Candy helped me get started. Because when this idea was just a little nugget with a name, it was just like Planet with a Palette was my idea for a name. And Candy was like, I love that. You should do it. And what kind of meals do you want to cook? Start writing stuff down. And she was very encouraging. She gave me a shout out when I did my very first video. And that grew my audience a lot, a whole lot. I want to show the cooking process. I want everybody to be able to make the food. And honestly, that's part of the fun. I love cooking a lot, but it's so much more fun when I get to share it. And when I have the camera in there with me and I'm cooking with y'all, it kind of feels like I'm not alone. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. I like that. I will never stop showing the cooking process. Candy is cooking now too, which I love, but she's not filming it. Yeah. I'm so happy for her that she's cooking again. We've been talking a lot. For a long time. We've been friends for a really long time. We actually met when we were both working in the adult industry many, many years ago, and we shot together. So there are somewhere out in the great wide web pictures of the two of us being cute together. And that is the kind of friends that I'm trying to make, not a Rosie Jean friend ever again. In fact, one of the things that I'm discussing in therapy is letting people into my life and how I want to be friends with everybody, because that's just kind of how I am. And sometimes people are not people you should be friends with. And there were a lot of red flags right from the beginning when I started becoming friends with Rosie that I should have seen, that I did see, but I chose to ignore. Because she was very pushy about hanging out and being friends. There were several times that I tried to ramp down the friendship and be like, I don't think we should hang out as much anymore. And she got very hurt and frustrated by that. And then she would constantly push my boundaries. And it's funny because a lot of the things that she's accusing me of pushing her boundaries and pressuring her to do things, that's all projected. That is all projection. That is not what I did to her. That is what she did to me. So pretty much everything that she's saying about me is BS. Yeah. Thank you, Keon. That's so sweet. Yeah, so I just, she's back at it again. She's out there making content, using my name, trying to, she didn't actually use my name. She's like, I'm not going to name the person in this video. Well, but you're still showing screenshots from me and everyone knows who you're talking about. So everyone knows who you're talking about because it's the same person you've been attacking for 4 months, Rosie. Let it rest. Good Lord. QUIRKYLOVEROSEE, I guess is what she changed her name to now. Yeah, so we've been talking about boundaries and setting boundaries and the level of boundaries. Yeah, for sure. There were a lot of points that gave me red flags. When she started inviting herself everywhere, when she started bringing her stuff over to my house and basically wanting to be here constantly, when she didn't know that, hey, it's time to go home and it's already midnight. And I'm I have to get up with my son in the morning for school. And she's like, okay, just a few more minutes. Okay, just a few more minutes, for hours. Yeah. There is a lot of, it's weird though, for her to be jealous of me and my success, because she's equally as successful. Her Instagram has a huge number of followers. She hasn't even been on YouTube for barely a minute, and she's already got more than half the amount of followers I do, because she brought over so many people from Instagram. So I don't think she's jealous of my success so much as that she's never going to be fulfilled. She's jealous because I like myself and my life for the most part. I've had a couple of rough months, but who wouldn't when you have someone relentlessly attacking you, one. And also I've been off my meds for the past month because I missed an appointment and because there's a shortage in medication. So that hasn't helped me. But, I don't know. I don't know why she is still on 4 months later. I have done a lot of work on myself. It's funny because one of my main triggers with my CPTSD is this idea that I'm not good enough. And I struggle with that a lot, more than you guys would probably even know. And then, you know, when I was going through, well, honestly, a little bit before that, I was in therapy and trauma therapy, and I was dealing with some stuff that had happened to me that was really, really horrible. And I took a hiatus from work, and Roman popped up and was like, hey, you know, are you okay? And I was like, honestly, no, I'm not. That's why I haven't been around. And they were like, you know, I'm here if you need a friend. And we've been talking for many years, like in a adult work sort of capacity, because their situation was that they worked all the time, didn't have the time or the desire really to have personal relationships. So, you know, they would connect with me instead, a sex worker. And they were like, you know, if you need a friend, I'm more than happy to talk to you about, like, you know, and I was like, well, what I'm dealing with right now is really heavy, and I just don't. And they were like, I'm here. So I really did need a friend to talk to. And we video chatted for the first time in a way that wasn't like just for, you know, with me as my alter ego. Like, this was just me, just me. This is what I'm dealing with. This is what's going on. And that first time we talked, I told them a lot of really private things, and I cried, ugly cried, because I was doing EMDR at the time, and I was like really dealing with a lot of very heavy stuff. And they opened up to me and told me a lot about their childhood and their specific traumas and stuff too. And we really like connected. And at that point, like, we became friends. EMDR. So it's like a eye movement. I don't want to say it wrong, but it's basically, it's therapy where you go through your traumatic events over and over and over again, but you do it while moving your eyes from one side to another. So my therapist specifically has these little things that you would hold in your hands, and they would light up, but they would also like buzz too, and you look back and forth while you talk about your deep traumas over and over and over again. And something about the eye movement actually helps refile these memories in your brain so that you can process them in a more logical and less emotional way. It is extremely helpful for people with PTSD, but it is very hard therapy. I mean, I'm talking because you have to go through the same trauma over and over and over again, and it is intense. It's the process itself is hard. It's really hard. And I was going through EMDR at the time, and that's when I talked to my now spouse. And it's funny because I asked them, you know, a few years later, I was going somewhere with this, but it is intense. I asked them a few years later, I said, is there a time when you knew that we were going to be like a couple or something? And they said that first video chat that we ever had, that first very serious video chat that we ever had, I just felt like we connected so deeply. My childhood was extremely traumatic, and at some point I might talk about that, but it's pretty private. It's a lot. It's a lot. And also, there's no way for me to I still do have a relationship with my mom, and there's no real way for me to talk about what happened where my mom doesn't come off looking horrible, because some of the things that she put me through were horrible. So that makes it hard too. Hang in there, y'all. Haters gonna hate. I'm talking to you, Rosie. You're still out there hating on me. And it's just like, really, bro, it's been 4 months. Can you please sit down? Calm down, Rosie. Calm down. There's nothing else left to say. We've talked about it a million times. And yeah, I'm still, if someone comes on my channel and asks me if I know you, I'm still going to say you're an abuser, because look what you're doing. You're still being abusive.
Hi, my name is Tyler Hogan, and I was harassed by a content creator at the age of 16. That was my phone. Yeah, so the person I'm talking about, her online username is QUIRKYLOVEROSEE. I'm just gonna call them Rosie for the remainder of this video. I did not want to make this video. I'm 18 now. Primarily, it was with somebody else, and then I was just kind of dragged into it by this content creator. But recently, I found that Rosie is still lying about the situation online. So me, being me, basically left a reply being like, hey, you leaving out some core details there. And then she proceeded to say more lies about me on Twitter, the worst place ever for where all bad things happen. It's usually from Twitter. So I'm making this video to outline my story, I guess, particularly because she blocked me. So I can't even directly talk to her about this. Listen, I would have been down to reason, be like, hey, stop lying about me online, but she blocked me. So also, she did threaten to call the police for harassment if I continued to talk about this, but thankfully I'm not a fucking idiot and I know my rights. Like how I know that replying to another person on Twitter is not harassment. Not personally reached out to her in any way. So fucking call the police. Sure, Rosie. There's plenty of people who I don't like who I put up with. Like, it's fine. Until it wasn't fine. Long story short, she and my parents stopped being friends. She had like a huge crash out online. And I'm gonna use the word allegedly here because she did scrub this from the internet, but allegedly doxed my parent somewhat by posting their like private Facebook account or something, which, you know, can obviously lead to issues and put, you know, both them and notably their two kids in danger. Can use her recent tweet of this, but was basically lying. My parent runs a cooking show online that I help film and edit for. This is not a secret or anything new. And what I had said is that I didn't like editing the mukbang portions because I just didn't like the sounds. That's just the thing. I don't like the sounds of people eating. I have autism. This is not some crazy conspiracy. So she went ahead and was telling people that I was editing porn as a 16-year-old, being paid to edit NSFW content. I don't like her, so why would I confide in this woman? And also, no, I just said I don't like the sounds. Well, anyways, I found that she was still lying about the situation on Twitter, so I replied in response to somebody else who was asking about it, just clearing up a few details. She crashed out, again, because that's what she does best. I don't care about your weird online drama with my parent, I just don't like that I was dragged into it, you know? All this shit, threatening to call the police, a very dramatic reaction to me clarifying a few things and kind of taking a dig at her for, you know, involving me in internet drama when I was a minor. And the reason I'm specifying when I was a minor, because as much as she likes to talk about how, oh, I was being preyed on by my parent or whatever the fuck, this person puts 18 plus on all of her social media profiles. They aren't like locked, like her YouTube channel is public and stuff, obviously, but yeah, very clearly is like, my channel is for adults and up. So why was I being involved as a 16-year-old? That sounds a lot fucking more predatory to me than not liking the sounds of people eating. This content creator is very dramatic and kind of predatory in the sense that she was involving me on her 18 plus social media platform drama, web drama, when I was 16 and was probably making money off of it, and it seemed important. Bye.
Hey y'all, so I can't believe that I'm back in this place with this situation again, but some of y'all know that I had a beef a couple years back with someone named Rosie Jean. It went on for fucking ever. She was making all kinds of claims about me on the internet that were untrue. She was making all kinds of threats about me. Honestly, like, spent months trying to make my life miserable. Yes, this is about the PS with Rosie. You know, I could go on a whole thing about that. I really could. Anybody who knows me and knows the situation knows what it is. But unlike these two people who have now teamed up to attack me together years after the fact, I don't, we done been new. I don't want to do that. Here's what I want to do. What I want to do is say that the things that are being said about me right now on the internet are untrue. And that if anybody really followed any of these allegations that people are making about me and what kind of person I am, you're gonna come up to a dead end. But what I want to point out is that what's happening is something called DARVO. It's which I don't know if y'all have heard of this before. Yes, he's with you and your dad. But it's basically deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. And that is what's happening. So Rosie Jean and I had a falling out, and I ended our friendship, and she went on the internet and put me on blast across the internet and was trying to make allegations about me being inappropriate with my children, like just all kinds of shit that was just like absolute utter bullshit, and trying to basically harm me in any way that she possibly could. And it was intense. For some reason, a couple months ago, I started getting some phone call or like some messages and stuff on my YouTube cooking show again about this nonsense with Rosie. People like, when are you going to apologize to Rosie for what you've done and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, I'm talking, this girl met up with one of my ex-girlfriends and they went on a podcast talking shit about me. Like, she went on a literal social media tour smearing my name into the dirt. And none of it's true. Not a goddamn thing she said is true. Like, I just want this to be over. Like, that's all I've wanted this whole fucking time, is for these people to get my name out of their mouths. So recently they have been reaching out to people in my life. She was also on social media writing little messages that were like veiled threats as well. And, you know, with that song playing in the background, it's like, run little girl, run little, that fucking, you know. Little girl, bang. And her basically being like, I'm going to make your life hell. And she did. So congratulations. That's what's going on. They're talking shit about me again. They're coming after me again. Apparently, like, Rosie's been saying some shit about my son, who's like 18. And by the way, in addition to Rosie doxing me at that time, someone reached out to me. They found my private Facebook account because she posted it. Someone reached out to me from that and was like, I just want you to know that I found your profile from this thing that she posted publicly. What is wrong with y'all? Like, can you please move on with your fucking lives? Like, I've moved on with mine. Yeah, it was my cane in that photo. Yeah, that's how the whole beef started. Because me and Rosie, I had ended my friendship with Rosie, which she was real bent about. And then she went in this magazine and on Daily Mail and all these things where she had this big thing, and it was all talking about, it was like advocating for like her being disabled and all this stuff. Now, I just want to point out that the entire time, I actually am disabled. And the entire time we were friends, me and Rosie, I offered her, there were a few days where she was like struggling to get around, and I was like, hey, do you need me to grab an extra cane? She was like, no. She was very like ableist towards me about how she was in better shape, you know, like mobility wise and able-bodied. And she repeatedly called herself able-bodied in front of me, and then went off and for attention put up a picture where she was holding my cane, my mobility device. And, you know, with this big thing about like, oh, I'm disabled. And it was just like, what? And I got upset and I called her out on it. And then she like went fucking crazy, like just straight up legit went bonkers. I've never seen anybody spiral out of control like that before. It was honestly terrifying. And I really hate that this is starting up all over again. Like I do. So for the record, no, I'm not fucking stalking anyone. I tried to reach out to Rosie through, I saw that she was on a live stream a while ago, and it was fairly recently, but before all this nonsense started up again. What gets me is most people who only sometimes use mobility aids rarely post with them unless they're a disability advocacy account. Well, that's the thing, is that Rosie will do literally anything for attention. Anything at all. Like I tried to reach out to Rosie a while ago. Once people started messaging me again, like, when are you going to apologize to Rosie? Never. The answer is never. I'm not going to apologize because I didn't do any fucking thing wrong. All I did was defend myself. I will never apologize to her. But I did reach out to her to try to on a live stream so that I was like, hey, can we talk? Because the thing is, I'm a reasonable person and I would just like this beef to be squashed. Do I think she's a good person? No. Do I want to be friends again? No. Do I want to, like she said in these, so when her and Mars teamed up, and all the shit they've been talking about me, which I have screenshots of because, again, someone sent them to me. And it's not like I have spies out here spying on them. It's just that we run in the same circles. And then people see things about me and they know that shit's not true. And they're like, hey, do you know this is being said about you? I don't give a fuck. I'm not spying on anybody. I don't give a shit about y'all. Like, I literally don't. So my son is like fucking done with Rosie's bullshit because she has been trying to pull him into this since the beginning. I mean, she got kicked off of Phoebe, which is like a, you know, adult plus size site where people meet each other. She got kicked off of there for talking shit about my underage children on a site that's for over 18. Like this is how bad things were, that she was literally involving my kids in her insanity, and she's still doing it. She's still got my son's name on her lips. So 3 times, please stop talking about me. Y'all, please back the fuck off. I literally don't care about you. I'm not stalking you. I don't care. But I want you to quit contacting my friends and saying things about me that aren't true on the internet. I really do. I really do. And the truth is, like I know, I mean, Rosie and I were not friends for that long, to be completely honest, that I've kind of changed how I am. I used to be like a very open person that would just make friends with anybody all the time. I don't trust people anymore. And it's in large part due to these 2 people that are still years later out here apparently messaging my friends and making posts about me on the internet. I'm tired of this false narrative that's being spread about me, that I'm just like this. You know, it's funny because when people are toxic and people have abusive behaviors like this, they always tell on themselves. What they're accusing me of is the same thing that they're actually doing. And don't project your shit on me. I'm not stalking you. I don't care about you enough to stalk you. Sorry. You apparently care about me enough to be out here talking my name on the internet 2 years later. And that's your problem, not mine. Get the fuck out of here. Don't message my friends. Stop saying my name. And no one who knows me is going to believe what you're saying because it's utter bullshit and not like my character at all. It's ironic because Rosie's whole bullshit with me was just that I was being used or preyed on by working on Planet with a Palette. Meanwhile, she was the one exploiting me as a 16-year-old. Let me talk about that. So when I started Planet with a Palette, which is my cooking show on YouTube, my whole goal was to change my job. I wanted to do a cooking show instead of doing what I do for work, which is adult content. My son is now 18. And so I addressed that in the video, by the way. Okay. So I was paying him to do some editing for me of these episodes. These episodes were not adult in nature by any stretch of the imagination. It was literally me making a meal and eating the meal and talking. And this is, I mean, if you follow any of the comments in my channel and stuff, I know that mukbang type content was very popular at the time. And so I had a friend who did a mukbang channel and was very successful. And so I was trying to incorporate that, but also do my cooking. Well, when the show started to take off a bit, it really became more about cooking. People didn't even really talk that much about the eating portions. And when I can see where the people are watching, and people would always comment on my recipes and stuff. So anyways, the show is really about the cooking. That's literally what the show's about. And I mean, did I lean a little bit into the whole thing of I'm a planet with a palette, and just I'm plus size? I mean, even in my little quirky little intro song, it's kind of tell the diet Karens where to go. Yes, but I don't think there was not ever any sort of adult nature to the show whatsoever. In fact, even when I set up this account and other various, Raine the Planet accounts or Planet with a Palette accounts, people will come in who are fans of me from other places, and I'll be like, this is not appropriate to talk about here. I very much I've gotten very good at compartmentalizing things, partially because I do have children and I do work that's adult in nature. Rosie, when she started accusing me of things, and started trying to start this internet war with me, started trying to say that, making it sound like I was having him edit or be involved in some way in my adult content, which I would literally never, ever do. I don't, listen, like you know, my kids are kids. Well, he's 18 now, but I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not filming when they're at home. I don't do that kind of stuff. Like, I care very much about being a good parent, but I also have this job that affords me the ability to take, make my own schedule. And like, yes, it would be super illegal. Yeah. And the thing is, I would never do that. I would never. In addition to being illegal, it's just unethical and it's wrong and it's bad parenting. And I would never do that. Not saying that I'm a perfect parent, but that is one line that I would never in a million years cross. So it was very, very upsetting to say this. She also tried to say that I was like basically like being a sexual predator towards her, which is ridiculous because many times throughout our friendship, she indicated that we should make content together. That's not the kind of content that I really create. And I was like, no, I don't really do that. And she still kept bringing it up. We never did anything. We were only just friends. I never approached her for anything like that. It's all lies. And I really don't like that. Like, it is one thing to lie about somebody and try to drag them across the internet, but making claims that literally could get their children taken away from them, if they were believed, which they won't be, because there's no evidence of any of that because it's not happening. She's a predator and projects it onto everyone else because she's nuts. That's the thing, is like, she's constantly a victim in every situation. At some point, you gotta wonder. When we were friends, there was a day that she was like, hey, I'm coming over. And when she pulled into my driveway, she was like driving erratically, and kind of like swung into my driveway really fast and was like, and started screaming at the top of her lungs when she parked. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I literally told Arthur, like, cause we were coming back from a walk, and I was like, Arthur, go inside. Like, cause I wasn't even sure what was happening. And I come over, she had dropped her phone and she's like screaming and hitting the wheel and like just having like a full blown meltdown in my driveway and being really erratic. And it honestly, it was like, whoa, like, oh, okay. And when she went back home, because it was really something. When she went back home, I was trying to be a good friend to her, and I was like, hey, listen, what I just saw looked like a manic episode to me. Like, my mom has been diagnosed with bipolar. I've seen this my whole life. So I was like, that's what it looked like to me. And I feel like, you should reach out and get some help. She was very mad at me at first. And then she was like, okay, I get that you're just being a good friend and whatever. But as soon as she was like talking shit about me again, she was like saying that I'm like a narcissist because I was accusing her of mental illness and trying to gaslight her into thinking that she was mentally ill. No, that's not what happened at all. I would not do that. Like, if she was mentally sound, we wouldn't still be having this problem 2 years later. But I would never do that. But her behavior was very erratic and not well. And I mean, even if you watch her videos now, from my understanding, I mean, like I said, I saw she was on a live stream and I was like, hey, but can we talk? Because I just really would like to squash this, but it's pretty clear that that's not going to happen. So, I mean, from my understanding, even now, like, she's having mental health issues. Listen, I have mental health issues too. I have PTSD. I'm in therapy every week, like clockwork. Like, I'm working on myself. And I really want the kind of friends and to be around the kind of people who are also working on themselves, because like, that's important, like doing the work and being the best version of you. And I really just wanted that for her, because there was a time when I actually cared about her and her well-being. So I definitely wasn't trying to like gaslight her into thinking she was crazy. No. But they're out here lying about me on the internet again. So that's what's going on. People are going to say what they're going to say. And the people who believe them are unfortunately just being like manipulated. The people who actually know me, or actually know either one of them, can figure out the truth on their own, I'm pretty sure. So with that said, that's why I popped on here today. I just wanted to clear the air that someone is being attacked. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a good day. I will have a much better day now that I got some of this off my chest. And yeah, if you hear some nonsense about me from either one of those people, that's exactly what it is. It's bullshit. All right. Bye.
Hey guys, just adding a note as of July 6th, 2026. 6 months ago, so I believe in January 2026, Rosie and Raine both posted community posts talking about how they had mended their bridges. This is a post up on screen from Raine, and the one that you're about to see is from Rosie. Take from that what you will, but for whatever reason, they decided that they were no longer beefing. If you guys enjoyed this video or learned something or took something away from it, that's all I need. Leave me a comment down below if you feel like it, letting me know what you think. I will have the next episode of the series up very, very soon. It's a brand new edit that you guys haven't seen yet, so I look forward to showing you that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon, I hope. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye.